So today I got one of my holy grail long-term items for the Civic. It is one of the HFP kit spoilers. I'm gonna put it on soon. Basically, so you know the spoiler that comes in the Type R in Europe and Japan? This is that same spoiler, but actually adapted from the factory to fit on the American trunk. Usually, if you try to put the spoiler from a Type R or a JDM Type R onto a USDM EP3 trunk, it won't actually fit. But this one is pre-cut from the factory to fit perfectly on the back of the car. I'm gonna go ahead and unbox it now and get it thrown on the car. Hopefully it'll only take maybe 30 minutes tops. Even better. Now, as part of buying the spoiler, I was somewhat worried that I might be buying some sort of rep, just because HFP spoilers come up for these cars so rarely. And this one was actually only $250 shipped to my door. And so, one of the ways that you can tell if a spoiler is genuine or not, or at least to get a rough ballpark, obviously looking for Honda casting marks is one thing, but if a company's already ripping off a design, who says they don't just put the Honda logo on it too? But one other thing is actually on these brake lights. Reproduction brake lights often don't have the Honda logos and the markings on them, but on this spoiler, it's pretty hard to see on camera, but they do actually have the real Honda logos on the third brake light here, which, when combined with this, gives me pretty good hope that this is an authentic HFP spoiler. You can see here on the sides, this is what I meant about it being fit for the USDM trunk rather than the Type R trunk. I can show you it over here on this side too. So there's no cutting that's needed to lower this down. There's no extra bump here like there is on the JDM ones or UKDM ones. Looks like we've got all the hardware included as well, which is an awesome bonus. And yeah, I think aside from that, we should be good to start pulling off my spoiler and popping this one on, so I'm super hyped. Now, removing the stock spoiler in an EP3 is a surprisingly simple process. Now, it may look like there's no visible fasteners, but it's just 4 bolts on the inside in the center and 2 on the outside corners. If I open up my trunk here, this plastic piece here is actually just held in with 4, I believe, plastic little gray pins. What you do is you just pull down on this. You have to be a little careful not to snap the pins. They are gonna be, close to 20-year-old plastic. And then you just pull straight out once it's popped off, and you'll be able to see our 4 bolt holes down here. As for the 2 on the corners, if I swing the trunk down a little, you can see the spoiler has these little edges that come up onto the inside. That's where those bolts will be. And so if we look on the inside of the trunk right there, there it is. So we're gonna have one of those on each side to take out, the 4 in the center, and our stock spoiler should come right out. This is also a good excuse to remove any, dead bugs, gross, nasty stuff, whatever you might have tucked away in your third taillight up there, or third brake light, just because most people don't get a chance to clean in there. So, if you have 20 years of gross buildup and bugs and whatnot, good excuse to get them all out. So as you can see, all nice dead bugs in there and whatnot. But we got this trim piece out of the way. And these here are those clips I was talking about, the gray little clips. Those just press into place. So that's what you're actually popping out on that trim piece. So now, once you have this trim piece off, you're gonna be looking to take off this third brake light. 2 of the bolts for the spoiler are under here. And the other 2, actually just found out, aren't actually bolts. They're just these plastic studs here on the stock spoiler. So once we get the 2 center bolts out, I'm gonna take out these 2 on the edges and then just pop those pins through, and our spoiler should come right off. Now our third brake light, we're going to need to reconnect that harness up to our new wing, So we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. I'm gonna have to figure out, you know, what that connector looks like or whatnot. But it should be pretty easy. Okay, and with that, our third brake light is out. There was just this little connector on the inside here. You just gotta undo that. Just push on it with a screwdriver or something. And then this just wiggles on out. Now it's important to make sure you don't drop this harness back into the car. We're gonna need this to connect to our new spoiler's third brake light. So if you want, you can just tape it to the frame here. That's probably what I'm gonna do. After that, we'll just focus on removing these inner and outer bolts, and then we should be good to go. Okay, two little middle nuts are out, and oh, and I just screwed these back in just so I know where they are. And with that, we're moving on to the outside. Bolts are out. Bolts are out. And with this, we're down to these little black clips. I just discovered a sweet life hack with this. Instead of, you know, messing around with screwdrivers or whatever else, grab yourself a 7mm socket. That's what I've got right here. It fits perfectly around the little clips, and it squeezes on all sides at once, so it'll push it right through the hole. No problem. So just, yeah, 7mm socket, make your life so much easier. Don't muck around with some screwdriver trying to squeeze everything all at once. Save your paint too, so you don't scratch it up. But yeah, there you go. Life hack, 7mm tip. Well, this is one I actually didn't hear about in any of the online guides or anything. So I've got the little black clip on this side out. I'm fully ready to go. And if we come over here, it's hanging on still. It's hard to tell, but if you look in here, we've actually got a piece of Velcro. I don't know if that's from the factory. I mean, it very well could be. It's just not something I saw at all when I was looking into this online. So you're learning with me, but be prepared to pop some Velcro off your spoiler. Then it should come off fully. Ooh, that's one side. There we go. And with that, our stock spoiler is off. So as you can see here on the stock unit, yeah, we've just got these little pieces of Velcro on the corners. No big deal whatsoever, you know. We can probably pop something like that on the aftermarket one. But aside from that, we've just got these little clips in the middle here, bolts there, clip, and then our mounting points on the end. I think I'm just gonna give this thing a nice wipe down, pop the new one on, see how she looks. Oh, and really quick for anyone curious, for a side-by-side comparison, there's a stock spoiler and the HFP kit, you know, the Type R style. Quite a big difference. Laying them over top, you can see it's like twice as long easily. As for the underside, we've got some places on the this Type R style one where it actually uses bolts, like right here, or nuts I suppose, instead of on the stock one where we had just those plastic clips. So that is one big difference. But aside from that, everything mounts up pretty much the same. Oh, you can actually see here where it was hitting Velcro before. That might have been where someone pulled off that Velcro in the past. So just something to be aware of. That will be on there. Aside from that, I mean, we're good to go. I've just got a bottle of, you know, just whatever tap water here. Just gonna spray it with that, wipe it all down, should be good to go. Okay, and she is clean, or unfortunately as clean as she's gonna get. So I actually brought this car to a Mako because I was having exhaust work done and someone backed into the car in the parking lot And the company said, hey, if you just go drop it off at Mako, we'll have them make it right, no worries. We'll have this whole part repainted. They actually backed into it, like right here, worst place. And you know, Mako pulled the dent, they painted it, and they got overspray under the wing, which is impressive. They got overspray on this window. I had noticed that one before, but I never noticed this one back here. So maybe it's time to take care of that really quick. But yeah, whenever you clean stuff, you notice stuff's wrong. We've got just the tiniest bit of rust starting up here. But aside from that, you know, she's not looking too bad. So off camera, I just spent a few minutes digging around looking at this tail light because I realized that the pigtail actually wasn't coming through that hole where it should come through. And unfortunately, after pulling it out, it does look like someone's messed with the wiring at least a little bit. It has these butt connectors on it instead of the, instead of the connector I need to run it back to the main harness. Okay, it's official. I'm stupid. I did not realize that there were no facilities to even run a third brake light on a USDM EP3. Damn. That is terrifying. I'm just gonna retape that up just so I don't risk hitting anything. And now, whew, that is looking good. Looks like a proper EP3 finally. I always thought the stock spoilers looked so goofy. Damn, I am digging this wing. But yeah, so it looks like, I mean, I could reinstall the stock third and just run it under there. Could just run no third brake light. Could drill a hole in the top of the trunk and do that. Guess we'll have to see. Man, I love the angle of this thing. I have to take it through a car wash. It's definitely got some shit on it. Oh yeah, just some light dirt. Nothing major. Just get something soft and give it a nice light wipe down. I don't want to dig any of that dirt into the paint or anything. Look at that. Well, without a doubt, it's been one of my biggest bucket list items to finally get done on this car. So I am, you know, more than excited about getting this finally on there. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I don't know if I really taught anything in this video, but thanks for sharing the experience with me, I guess. And I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see more videos about the Civic or just anything in general, feel free to subscribe. If I did anything wrong, let me know, as always. Yeah, I'm also, man, I'm so surprised with the sticker clearance. That kind of worked out perfect. I'm hyped.